First things first, I genuinely hope Antonín Kinský is surrounded by good people right now, getting all the psychological support he needs. There are certainly worse tragedies in life, but as far as professional humiliations go, watching a goalkeeper get hooked after just 17 minutes of a Champions League knockout game is as brutal as it gets. You are essentially, by the time his number went up on Tuesday night, Kinský had already gifted Atletico Madrid 2 goals. Then, and just like that, his light was over. To put this in perspective, it was only the 4th time in the entire history of the Champions League that a goalkeeper has been substituted this early. It goes without saying that the first 3 were due to injury. Kinský's exit was purely, ruthlessly tactical. The Wanda Metropolitano didn't quite know how to react. With Atleti already cruising at 3-0 up and the tie effectively buried, the home crowd offered a bizarre mix of whistles for the substitution itself and sympathetic applause as Kinský made his long, lonely walk off the pitch. Can a player bounce back from a public execution like this? We'd all love to say yes, but the closest modern parallel is Loris Karius in the 2018 Champions League final against Real Madrid. We later found out Karius was concussed, yet he never played a competitive minute for Liverpool again. It takes a specific kind of mental fortitude to wear the gloves, a sentiment echoed perfectly by David De Gea as the carnage unfolded. Taking to X, the former Manchester United shortstopper wrote, "No one who hasn't been a goalkeeper can understand how difficult it is to play in this position. Keep your head up and you will go again." It was a reassuring touch that several of Kinský's Spurs teammates and backroom staff immediately followed him down the tunnel. But honestly, what do you even say to a guy in that moment? Would it comfort Kinský to know that the man who humiliated him, interim head coach Igor Tudor, is now facing deafening calls to be sacked? Probably not. Vengeance doesn't heal a shattered confidence, but Tudor absolutely must wear the blame for this fiasco. Dropping regular number 1 Guglielmo Vicario was understandable. The Italian's form has been plummeting but throwing Kinský, a player who hadn't seen a single minute of senior football in 132 days since October, into the boiling cauldron of a must-win Champions League away night was managerial malpractice. Hooking him before a quarter of the game was even played was just cruel. You could try to argue that pulling Kinský was an act of mercy to save him from further mistakes. But that theory falls apart the second you look at Tudor's body language. As Kinský walked off, Tudor didn't even look at him. No quick word, no pat on the back, nothing. When human decency demands the bare minimum of acknowledgement, how can any player in that dressing room take Tudor seriously after that? Why would they even want to? If you want a single image to summarize the sheer futility of Tudor's reign, it arrived exactly 5 minutes later. After Atletico banged in their 4th goal in the 22nd minute, the TV cameras cut to the Spurs boss wildly gesturing for his players to calm down. Mate, you just subbed your goalkeeper at 17 minutes. The time for calm is long gone. Incredibly, we've been here before with Tottenham. It's almost narratively flawless. Flashback to March 2023, Antonio Conte is sacked and his assistant Christian Stellini is handed the reins to safely shepherd the team to the end of the season. A month later, Spurs find themselves 5-0 down to Newcastle United by the 21st minute in an eventual 6-1 massacre. Stellini was gone shortly after. The theory with bringing Tudor in was that he would replicate the immediate, hard-nosed impact he had at Marseille and Juventus. He was supposed to be the tough disciplinarian who would stop the bleeding and solidify a leaky defense. Instead, he has overseen 4 games and suffered 4 defeats. 3 of them have been outright humiliations. A 4-1 absolute outclassing by Arsenal, a 3-1 rollover against Crystal Palace where the away end was emptying by half-time, and now a 5-2 thrashing in Madrid that has killed their Champions League dream dead. Usually, the golden rule of sacking a manager is knowing who you're replacing him with. Right now, it's hard to imagine any serious, self-respecting elite coach touching the Tottenham job. Yet, keeping Tudor feels like an even bigger gamble than sacking a guy after just 4 games. The Champions League campaign is dust, but somehow, in defiance of all logic, Tottenham are still sitting just outside the Premier League relegation zone. The season is mathematically salvageable, but the vibes are rotting from the inside out. The Seers have a massive decision to make before the weekend, but beyond the boardroom politics and the tactical autopsies, let's just hope Antonín Kinský is okay.